Hello everyone, once again we're looking at the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 in front of us, and if it sounds like I'm whispering, it is because I am. It is very late in South Korea, and it also looks like it's very cold outside. That's unfortunate. But what I wanted to talk about was the camera on the Galaxy Note 2. I've gotten a few requests for a camera review, and I've been trying to put one together for a while now. But I've realized, I think there are some good camera reviews out there already. What I just didn't agree with was some of the conclusions that they've made. So I thought I could offer a photographer's perspective on the camera on the Galaxy Note 2. I've been shooting photos, for as long as I could remember, and I've been shooting with the DSLR for about 6 years, and I have a lot of lenses and flash equipment. So I think I could give you a good photographer's perspective on how good the Galaxy Note 2's camera is. And so let's start off with the hardware. As you know, the hardware, the camera on the back is an 8 megapixel sensor. The lens is the lowest f-stop is f2.6, and that is fixed. And then the ISO that this sensor is capable of is 100 to 800. That's on manual, but it actually goes down to ISO 80 and up to ISO 1000 on automatic. Okay. Now the position of this camera and the lens is a little bit too near the edge, and as you try to hold it, right, your instinct is maybe to try to hold it like this. You'll notice that your finger is blocking the lens often, and that's it's actually gonna get in the way pretty much all the time. So you're gonna try to find different ways to hold it, and there's no real way to hold it, because once you start holding it like this, then you're blocking the screen. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but it's not something that you can't work around. Another thing is the lens here. It looks like it's all glass, and because of that, it's going to smudge a lot, especially with the position. So pretty much when I was out taking pictures a lot during the day, I was wiping this lens pretty much every shot I wanted to take. And yeah, just another small complaint there, but nothing you can't get around, and you get used to it. It's just a little bit of pain. Okay. And I did want to show you that, well, before we move on to that, one more thing is that the camera, right, this frame of the lens, it actually sticks out a little bit from the back cover. So it is actually resting on that. And I kind of don't like that, because, you definitely don't want to scratch the lens. And it also creates this little wobble there, just because the camera. And all those things can be actually, all those issues that we brought up, a lot of them actually can be addressed by using the Samsung flip cover. Okay, or maybe, you know what, pretty much every other cover of this style will definitely help in this situation. Okay, just one second. Okay, so just because this part is a little bit thicker, so the lens, the frame of the lens there, is not being rested on anymore. It actually creates a flatter surface and gets rid of that wobble because it's not resting on this. So that's a plus. This also lets you hold it a little better. So let me enable the camera here. Okay, and then when you're when you have the camera, pretty much you're holding it. I guess we don't need to enable. Pretty much holding it here, and you're just using your fingers up here just to stabilize it from wobbling. But you're pretty much holding it here, and it's a lot better. It's actually lower also, right? Your finger's not getting in the way of the lens. So that's a unexpected benefit of owning a cover like this. It doesn't have to be the Samsung flip cover. So any cover with a flap will do. So just wanted to point that out. Okay, and let's see. So the sensor here, right? We've had 8 megapixel sensors now. If you've had a Galaxy phone before, You've had probably one on the Galaxy S2 even, right? But there's a upgrade here, and it's called BSI, right? It means that the sensor is backside illuminated. So in the end, it means that the sensor could pick up twice the amount of photons, twice the amount of light in the same setting compared to like an older Galaxy S2 or S or original Note. While we're on this topic, the camera is identical to the Galaxy S3, so you're not going to see any differences there. But if you have an older model, it is a pretty significant upgrade. But so where does the BSI sensor come in? Well, when you're trying to take a picture, say you did have an older Galaxy S model, you know, when you try to take a picture, your hands do vibrate, right? Just a little bit. And when you try to take a picture in like a low light indoor setting, you sometimes get blurry photos. You're definitely going to see those less on the Galaxy Note 2 because it takes half the time to take that same picture, even though we're talking about the difference between 1/20th of a second and 1/40th of a second. It's still going to reduce the blurry photos that you're going to get in those settings. And when there's adequate light and when blurry settings don't matter, where the BSI sensor can help is it could reduce the noise to about half. Okay, so I wanted to cover that. But a user pointed out that the LED flash is about, is significantly less brighter on the Galaxy Note 2, and actually that is absolutely true. And let me explain to you why it's a good thing that it's less brighter on here. So let me give you this example. I'm just going to turn the flash on my phone. Okay. So say you're trying to take a picture of this mouse, right? And you had direct flash on here, and the harsher the flash, the more darker this area and more pronounced it's going to get. And this is what's called the shadow, right? And you see the bright spot on here, that's the highlight. And the brighter the flash, more problems with highlights and more problems with shadows. So remember the BSI sensor? It could capture twice the amount of light. So that means they could get away with putting a flash that's almost 50% as bright as the previous photo. And in the end, you get a more pleasing photograph that is lit about the same. So I think it's an upgrade, but where having a weaker flash is not as good as if you have a really like if you're taking pictures in the dark, for example. It's not going to be able to light that dark room like the Galaxy Note did. So just wanted to point that out. Okay, so I wanted to go over what I said earlier about how I didn't agree with some of the conclusions on the written reviews on the web, and one of them was how the Galaxy Note 2 didn't seem like it was as good as the original Galaxy Note in high dynamic range situations. Okay, so as you can see, this is a picture I took at a park that I was at, and as you can see, there's trees here and there's really dark elements here, right? And the Galaxy Note would probably choose to expose this at a higher level. For example, you would be able to see the grains on the trees, and this part wouldn't have a deep shadow there. But the thing is, the sky, you could see that it's a little blue here. It still captured the sky as blue on the original Galaxy Note because they choose to overexpose instead of underexpose. The sky will be completely dark, whereas the original Galaxy 2, unlike the Galaxy Note 2, it chooses to underexpose in the same setting. And from a photographer's perspective, I would rather it prefer to underexposed, because even though this tree looks almost completely black, you can actually open this up in Photoshop and pretty much gain all of the detail and all of the color back into this tree while keeping everything else about the same level, bringing you a much natural picture, and you still keep the blue. Unlike the Galaxy Note, original Galaxy Note, when something turns white, like when a colored element turns white like the sky, it is basically unrecoverable. Like whenever anything, like for example, say for example the leaves turned white there, as much as you play around in Photoshop, you're not going to be able to recover the green in those colors. So for my use, right, I really understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to create a more sophisticated camera, and I think if you guys do understand how it works, you could definitely work with it a little bit better. So say for example you wanted to take this kind of picture, but you do prefer not to use Photoshop at all, and I totally understand that. So if you wanted to take a picture more similar to what you were getting on the original Galaxy Note, you could simply do this. You could go to Camera, and then just turn up the exposure. And I'll probably turn that up to 2. And remember, it is because the Galaxy Note 2 tends to underexpose, whereas the Galaxy Note tended to overexpose. So if you liked the way you got pictures on the Galaxy Note, you probably want to turn up the exposure. But why do that when you have this option available? So let's actually turn that back down, right? And then there's an option available called HDR. So let's go to shooting mode, and then there's HDR mode. Okay, and HDR mode is pretty much like what you would do if you took that image with the dark trees that I showed you. It would be like if you took that photo and fixed the shadows in Photoshop. And in the end, this is the type of image that you would end up with. As you could see, the sky remained blue, but you captured all the details, all the grains in the trees. It does appear a little bit darker in this video, but actually looks natural on this phone. So the HDR mode is actually the better way to shoot, and in the high dynamic range settings, that's what you should be shooting at. That concludes the end of this little segment I wanted to talk about. I wanted to do a camera review, but I thought I'd give you my style analysis. And anyways, so thank you for watching. Please check out my other videos in my channel if you haven't done so already, and also please subscribe to my channel. As you can see, I'm putting out about a video a day about the Galaxy Note 2 and how you can get the most out of it. Okay, thank you for watching.